Hi, I just realised that I was taking a photo instead of a film, so I've had a bit of bad luck with this today. A lot of blonde moments, and uh, yeah, I still want to get a video out as soon as possible, um, but we'll see. Maybe it's not for me for today. It's I don't know, we'll just see. So the first one I did was, I'm not sure how long, but it was very long, and it didn't save. It timed out and then it didn't save. The second one was 21 minutes. It didn't time out at all, but it wouldn't upload. It was like getting to 71% uploaded and just no further than that. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you can see this shiny nails. Random thought, did that the other day. I really enjoy doing my nails, so yeah. Someone told me this means something in sign language. I can't remember what it means. How much or something like that. How much? Quanto costa? Or something like that. So the third one was very short. I don't really remember. I think I did 4. This is my 5th one, and I accidentally took a photo instead of doing a film. But anyway, just want to get on with it. So, I just realised I'm kicking my feet. So, sorry, just getting a bit excited. So, I wanted to speak about schizophrenia in general, and I wanted to say that I found that most people who I've talked to about it have been very understanding and kind and thoughtful. There's been very few people who have been awful about it, but mostly I see, because I've been doing research trying to find different perspectives online, I see that online a lot of people say negative things. And I know there's a lot of negative stuff in the media and in TV shows. They portray us as violent killers/stalkers or whatever. And it's really not representative of the majority of people who face this kind of diagnosis. So the majority of people who have a diagnosis of schizophrenia, whatever type it is, are actually, and yeah, people get caught up in the type because they think one type's more dangerous than another, etc. There's just varying degrees of how well or how ill someone is, other than the types, and then what state of mind they're in at the time might determine if there might be a danger to someone or not, but that's very rare. And in fact, most people who have schizophrenia manage it to some degree, and that varies. And the other thing is sorry, I don't want to speak too sorry about that. I'm not sure what I was saying. Like most people who have schizophrenia tend to be very compassionate people and very kind people, and it's easy for me to sit here and say that, but you can look it up yourself. You could talk to a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a doctor or a mental health nurse or a peer support person or anyone who has a lot of experience with it, and what they tell you might reflect what I'm saying, might not, but there's a good chance that it will reflect what I'm saying. That being said, not everything that I say people who are professionals will agree with, because I'm speaking from my own personal perspective, from being someone who's living inside of this. Like I know the inside of the illness, but someone else has, other people have an outside perspective. And obviously we're told that, this kind of illness affects the way we perceive things, and therefore I may or may not be perceiving things correctly. I might or might not be delusional. And I wouldn't be the person to make a judgment on that, because I'm not a psychiatrist or any kind of medical professional. But, I do like to share what my experience is. And I'll say that a lot of things that I tried to reduce my symptoms worked, and this was before I had any intervention. and before, during, and after intervention. And there wasn't actually an intervention. I actually went to the hospital, and I went there like 3 times before I was diagnosed. That, you know, it had to go on for more than a year before they would diagnose it, and it happened when I was 26, but I think I got diagnosed at 27. So, but obviously it started around 26. Although I was supposedly prodromal before that for like 10 or 15 years. I don't know how normal that is or if that's about right, but I don't know. I just, you know, I always thought they were wrong when they were saying I was prodromal, but I guess somehow something brought it out in me, and you know, the conditions were right for this to come about. And I have to say that a lot of people seem to think, oh, you know, poor you, or poor, you know, people who have schizophrenia. But for me personally, I think that this has been a great experience in that I've gotten to see the inside of this illness, and I've had the opportunity to help some people who also have it to work through it by sharing things that work for me, and they also worked for them. But I haven't heard from the people who it hasn't worked for, as far as I know. I don't know if anyone has had these things not help, but if there are, they probably didn't feel the need to contact me over it not working. So I just think that, you know, there's a lot of different strategies. They're as endless as your imagination, and I've got a massive list of things that work because I've been experimenting with it. And I've started writing an eBook, but that'll be a really long way off before I self-publish it, because I'll need a lot of help and support to actually complete it. But as for the bulk of the writing, I've done that, and there's a lot of stuff on there, but I'll just list a couple things. Now, these two, meditation and prayer, can be triggering as well, so I'd be careful with that. But they can be helpful as well. So there's so many other things. I don't know if I want to go into that right now, but I will just say when my acute psychotic break occurred when I was 26, I was alone in Sydney. I'd gone up there with someone who said I had somewhere to live if I went with them. Turned out they didn't actually have a place for me. Their family didn't even know I was coming, and they strung me along that whole time. But yeah, so I was stuck there alone, but I didn't have such a terrible time. I actually, even though I was very sick at the time in other ways, I went and climbed the Sydney Harbour Bridge, like not the arc, but the you know, they have these things sort of shaped like this on the side. I climbed the stairs. You know, you can do that. It's like $12 or something like that. And I'd go walk across the bridge as well to Kirribilli and have a great time. I'd go to some other suburbs and just walk around and think about what I'm going to do with my life, and plan my life and look forward to it. I was getting fit and everything. I was, you know, working on myself. And then I started hanging out with Mormons, and they really wore me down by taking me into the church all the time, constantly being in my presence and not giving me a break, which I really, you know, I'm someone who needs time away from people a lot to sort of work through my own issues, and just, you know, also do the things I enjoy doing. And yeah, so they wore me down, and they said that I should stop taking all my medications, and I would heal. I have healed since then, but not because of them and not because of anything they told me to do, or any of their books or any of their texts, nothing. I did not recommend it. I went more and more insane the more I read their books, and then I was stopped reading their books and only read the Bible, and I found my sanity coming back. And then I stopped reading the Bible for some time, and it seemed to, I don't know, like I didn't have so much a problem with the Bible itself, but look, like people who were pushing it on me. Any kind of, like when someone has a problem like schizophrenia, anyone saying anything negative or pushing anything on you, or it can sort of trigger the symptoms to blow up, especially if they're being punitive or telling you how to live your life, or anything that could be perceived as a threat in any sense. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot to it. But back to Sydney and my first psychotic break, I just like I acted like nothing was happening, and to the best of my knowledge, nobody around me knew what was going on. I could be sitting there with a person having a chat and have these voices screaming in my like either in my head, or it sounded like they were out here, or sometimes far away or whatever, but varying degrees of, closeness, and they could be screaming horrible things at me, but I'd just have a friendly conversation with someone and ignore them. And the computer was sort of going to time out for a second. So what was I saying? So nobody around me, to the best of my knowledge, knew until I went to the hospital and told them what was going on, and they said there were a whole bunch of other things they thought was wrong with me, but not schizophrenia. And then, ages later, they actually diagnosed paranoid type schizophrenia. And I don't know why it's that type, but I don't agree with it, but I don't know what I would rather it be, so I'll just stick with that for now. What was I going with that? These stringy things are just part of my shirt. That's just, I don't know what they are. They seem pretty useless. Maybe it's for hanging your keys or your glasses off of them or something. I don't know. So back to Sydney. Stopped reading their books, stopped going to their churches, got out of their hotel that they were running, went and stayed at the hospital for a bit. Then I went to a shelter where things were pretty awful, and someone was trying to help me get booked in, and they were talking to me, and I couldn't hear them because my voices were so loud. So I kept saying, can you please repeat that? Can you please repeat that? Really politely. And they got really angry at me, and the more angry they got, the more I heard voices. So I didn't tell them I was hearing voices because I didn't want to be put into another place or in a worse place or in a hospital. So I just was as patient as I could be and asked them to repeat themselves. And they just, moved me on and didn't bother me for a while until I calmed down, and then I don't know what happened. I don't even know if I was properly booked in, but I was definitely there for a long time, and they eventually kicked me out. But it was over being set up for something that I didn't do. But anyway, I'll talk about that in another video because it's kind of interesting what happened. Because they're trying to set me up failed, but they were still allowed to kick me out even though they couldn't do anything legally because they stuffed up the setup. So thank God. Otherwise I'd probably be in jail or something like that, or have a fine, or I don't know, but wouldn't be good. Probably could have been in a long-term hospital or something. But anyway, I ended up going to the Gold Coast because some girls from the shelter said, I could live with them, and that didn't work out, so I stayed at this place which was really dodgy. I'll talk about that in another video too. Basically, recently I ended up in a not so good relationship, and I got out of it, thank God, and I'm in one piece, and thank God for that. And things have been, I'm in this safe place for the first time in my life, and I'm feeling good, and most of my health has improved, even the symptoms of the schizophrenia. which, I've read that, people who are in a safe environment, a supported environment, who have non-judgmental people around them who listen to them, and they really feel heard, and they really get to say what's really on their mind, even delusional things, and that people don't judge them about that, they have better long-term outcomes. So there's a lot of studies on that. You probably won't hear about them as much if you do mainstream.
Is it working okay for
you?
you?
Thank you.
Yeah, so I've got that bean out of you.
Yeah, I'm still doing one. Sorry, I'll talk to you in a bit. Yeah, thank you.
You look pretty with your hair down.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. So that was my housemate, very lovely lady. Yeah, so, well, this has gone for 15 minutes. So I think I might wrap up, and I'll do another video shortly. Thank you very much for listening. Have a great day in life, and God bless you.